let's find out what the upcoming week has in store for you. Stay tuned. So, as always, let's first see what the theme of the upcoming week is going to be. And actually, we have two cards that wanted to come through at the same time. So we're going to see how these two combine with each other. So we have Vertigenshik, which means jealousy, Eifersucht, jealousy, Ljubomora, jealousy. So, as always, I'm butchering these pronunciations, probably. I hope you can forgive me. And then we have Utazás, voyage, Reise, voyage, journey, putovanie, viaggio. So, journey and jealousy. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull one card for each. And then another to see where they intersect. First one for jealousy. And the second one for journey. And where is the intersection? All right. So we have the Ace of Cups. And then we have the Knight of Wands. And the World. Okay. So, first and foremost, with the Ace of Cups, there's an overcharged, overwhelming emotional experience, which, when we talk about jealousy, it's not very surprising that we have something like this reflected by the tarot. The Ace of Cups represents the entire spectrum, the condensed essence of human emotion. Some people say that we have 5, 6, 7 basic types of emotion, and all other kinds of emotion are arising from that, from the combinations of those. Whoever really knows what's going on, it's really hard to define. But when we see the Ace of Cups, one thing is for certain, is that you feel everything all at once. And it can be very kind of energetically taxing to have this card come up in connection with a loaded question or a loaded topic, such as jealousy. So the ignition point seems to be this intrusive and turbulent chain of internal events that is interconnected with the idea of journey. Now, journey or traveling in general is also kind of symbolic. So we can think of actual travel in physical space, but we can also understand it as a process from getting from point A to point B and the complications that arise on that trajectory. And so I get the sense that there's motivation that arises from the Ace of Cups. Emotions, the term emotion comes from the Latin expression movere, which means to move. So there's movement that is associated with emotions. There's motivation, there's an incentive to act, which is reflected in the Knight of Wands very clearly. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Fire, is representative of those kinds of actions that are impromptu, that are not planned, that have an air of recklessness or spontaneity to them, and a lack of regard for consequences. So there's this impulsive urge to act out with the Knight of Wands, to prove something to yourself and most importantly to the external world. The Knight of Wands is an explorer by birth. He is interested in the yet untapped, the unknown, the dangerous, the unavailable parts of existence. It tickles his fancy. He wants to go out and see if reality really aligns with fantasy. And he does this without much consideration of his own safety or the safety of others. So this to me is outlining the presence of a serious and intense emotional ignition point that is connected with jealousy and a consequent route of action that is taken out of desperation or on a whim without much planning or conscious thought, without much deliberation. And so we can already feel that there's something unhinged and dangerous in that combination. Being intensely upset or perturbed by emotions and losing connection with that wiser, more analytical part of ourselves, and doing something which is perhaps regrettable or not very smart. So the World card is here to take the edge off. So this is a very tense situation that develops with jealousy at its core. And there's a capricious path that is taken. And here's the world telling you that no matter how you decide, no matter what mistakes you make, you can never be excluded. You're never shunned. You're never an outcast. No matter what you do, no matter what you did, no matter how foolish you may act, because you may be driven to act irrationally this week, and perhaps even to change physical location as a result of that, because of the journey card. That's also a possibility here. But I feel like more likely this is an internal conflict that drives you to act out. And so the world unifies and frames this situation with gentleness. And it tries to communicate to you that you are not synonymous with what you do. You are not your actions. You are not what you do. You are not defined by a fluke of self-control. It can happen to you. This is a very high-strung, intense environment in which you're trying to do your best. And the world is just here to remind you that ultimately you cannot lose anything ever. Nothing is ever lost because nothing has ever been yours. And if you can connect with that, maybe the jealousy, which is built on the fear of losing something emotionally significant to us. Perhaps if you can connect with what the world is trying to convey here, you can soothe the restlessness that arises from it, and perhaps prevent the acting out. But even if you do, it doesn't matter. We're all very, very small and insignificant in the grand scheme of things. And at the same time, we are so enormous as beings that even our contradictions can fit into who we are. So make sure to try and be safe if you can, and careful, although the Knight of Wands is not necessarily known for his tact or his caution, and that's okay. So if you can, try to be safe, and if you do something that's outside of the norm, if you get out of line, have some compassion for that, and remember, you are not defined by any of it. You can, of course, and should course correct if you can, but it is what it is, and you're just trying to navigate some stormy weather here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like my channel, like this video, leave comments, visit my website and look at the readings, the personal readings that I offer. And if you need any information, you can email me. See you next week.